Well, hello everybody! Welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead of the desert, and here we are over by the water tank. And why are we here? I forgot. No, seriously. I had a request to discuss my water filtration and how I do that. Now, I did mention once before that I was going to be doing this, and in doing this, I want you to realize that this is not the only way to filter water when you live off-grid. This is just the way I do it. And that's because this channel is called G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, not somebody else's off-grid ways. This is my off-grid ways. This is the way I do it. This way I've been doing it for almost 10 years, and it's worked just fine for me. So, this little room here is basically what I call my filter house. I built this staircase because I got to get up to that opening up there to fill the tank when the truck comes in to fill it. And yeah, I've been asked before, why don't I get a well? Because minimum charge of getting a well established out here would cost me nearly $50,000. Okay? I'm looking at probably living here maybe another 10 years. And if you think about that, that's a lot of money for 10 years worth of water, when I can have it delivered for around $360 for 40,000 gallons. Okay, or 4,000 gallons, sorry. But yeah, these barrels I added around the outside with these manifolds on here, which I need to get painted this year. And that's added another almost 900 gallons. They go all the way around this tank. And they handle half the tank level. So these things right now are full. That tank up there is probably 2/3 full. All right, so that's going to last me a little while yet. But let's get back to the filtration. There's my climbing dog. You're a climber, you know that? Go down the stairs. Get down the stairs. All right, so this is what I did. Now, coming off of these water tanks, they want you to have a flexible connection. That's why I've got that flexible hose down there. That's because there's shifting and earthquakes and things like that. And you definitely want to make sure that it's not rigid, or it's just going to break it off of the tank, and then you got a real problem. Okay? Then coming out of the tank, you put in a ball valve so you can shut it off at the tank when you need to. I used a jacuzzi pleated filter here. That's for catching debris that gets in the tank. And trust me, debris gets in the tank. The reason that they have the valve up probably 4 inches off the base is because there's all kinds of dust and dirt and stuff like that that settles at the bottom, and it's got to be cleaned out every now and then. So you want to definitely remember that you're going to be cleaning out your water tank. So this is just for sediment. That's all that does. And every now and then, probably about every third tank load, I unscrew that, take it off, and I take it down to my garden house where I've got another water storage for my plants and that stuff. And I have a pressurized pump there, and I can wash out the pleated filter really well, come and put it back. Then I have this one that filters what comes out of the barrels. This one that goes in this way is a bypass. And what I do is I open that up while I'm having water pumped into there. So the water comes in and starts flowing in there and filling the barrels up at the same time it's filling up the big tank. Because, of course, water finds its own level. Okay, so on the other side of here, I have another valve like this that shuts water off from coming out of the barrels through this filter. I can see that filter is already tan colored. It should be pure white like this top of this filter, so that's getting ready to be changed. All right. I don't always use this water coming through here. That's my total backup. In case there's a problem, I have a backup on the blue barrels. And that comes in and connects into my main that goes down. And I use all shark bite fittings when I put this together. Shark bite is an excellent way to go because it's basically $20 worth of tools you need for the installation tools. And then you just push the unit in until it seats to the bottom, and that's it. You're done. No soldering, no flames, no pasting, no nothing. You just push them in and you're done. And they hold up really well to freezing temperatures. So remember that with shark bites. So anyway, these are both basically sediment filters that catch sediment that's coming out of the water tank and trying to go down through here into my water system for the cabin. So all of those lines are buried underground here, and when I buried them at about 18 inches deep, so I don't have to worry about those freezing. But you can see the two black insulated lines there that come up out of the ground. Okay, one of those is the input line, which is the lower one, the shorter one. And then the higher one is the output line, and that goes underground over to my cabin. But it also stops at the outdoor mash shower. I'll show you that in a minute. So inside here is where I have my Harbor Freight shallow well pump. And I just did a video on what to do if these things cycle. Now, another thing is, remember that when you got your water coming in, that's where the check valve goes. Okay, and the arrow on the check valve points towards the pump, not towards the source. Okay, if you're pumping out of a well, you'll have a foot valve down at the bottom of the well. So you don't have to have a check valve up above here. All that does is it keeps the water from siphoning back out after your pump shuts off and going back down into the well so that you have to reprime your pump every time. That prevents it. Okay, so again, I use shark bite here, and the only thing I have is hard piped is the outgoing here that goes back to the cabin, because I wanted to add a hose bib here, so while I'm working out here, I can get water if I need to for stuff I'm doing here in the shop. Okay, so no filtration here at all because I've got the sediment filter up there. Let's move on down the line. All right. So next, the water goes in on the short one, comes out on the tall one, and it comes underground. And then I have it reduced to 3/4. That's all 1 inch from the tank down to here. Then I have 3/4 that comes up here, and I have a ball valve there to stop it. And I have 1/2 inch that comes out of it, goes around to a sink on the other side, which is eliminated right now because the faucet itself froze. Okay, now this one puts water up into the manifold and fills those two barrels up there, and then they heat from solar. So the black one gets hotter than the blue one, and I can shut off just the black one if I want, so that, because I have ball valves in this section here. One is there upward and one there is downward. So I can shut off the hot water if it's too hot in the summer and just use the cooler water, which is about lukewarm. All right, so that goes over and then comes up behind that little styrofoam box. I use that in the wintertime to protect freezing. And then they go inside the house at that point. Those windows are my kitchen. And then the bathroom is on just past the tank there where that board is. Between the board and the window is the bathroom area. All right. So, hey, DOG, are you messing with Blackie again? Get your butt out of there. You leave Blackie alone. All right, sorry about that, but the males are all a trio of dominance. All right, so here inside the house, under the kitchen sink only, I have this main faucet valve, and this is an A.O. Smith. Now, I just looked this up because I need to get a new one and replace the one that's under the sink. And this removes 6 main contaminants, as you can see: chlorine, lead, cis, turbidity, atrazine, and lindane. Okay, so it does reduce everything down to 99% of the 6 contaminants. It takes them out and gives you fairly clean water to use. All right, this is a great system, but I think they're like all of these water systems, they all end up after a couple of years, they eliminate them. They don't make them anymore. They don't make the filters anymore, and then they start a new type of filter. So you have to buy the filter holder unit right there. Okay, and I just noticed that these are marked down almost half price because it says that they're discontinued. So I'm going to go, I got these at Lowe's. I'm going to go to Lowe's tomorrow and I'll buy all the ones that they have at $20 each. So I'll be set for, well, if I get 3 of them, I'll be good for 3, maybe 6 years. Now it says that you're supposed to change these things. It comes with a little timer unit that has a battery in it, and when the blue light flashes, it means it's time to change your valve, your filter. And I never go by that. I talked to a guy who was an engineer on these things, and he says that's a bunch of BS. That's only if you've got the worst water in the world. But if it says 6 months on this thing, you can go a year and a half on it. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Unless your water is completely contaminated with all kinds of really bad stuff, you'll be fine going extra 3 times what they tell you on these. So if I can get 4 more, and they want 6 months each, well, I got 4 times 18 months. All right, so that's quite a while. That's going to be 6 years or so. My pigeons have been coming back more often. They're coming up the driveway over there, and they're pretty cool. They like this place. So anyway, I wanted to make sure I got that video finally done. It's been cold, windy, and non-humane to be outside. So I haven't been doing much lately, but I wanted to get this one in because I did promise I would do it. And I'm sorry for the delay, my friends. Stick with me. I usually get this stuff done as soon as possible, and if I make a promise, I stick to it. So thank you for joining me, everybody. Tires are already full of desert dust and dog pee. Every place I go who has dogs, their dog pees on my tires, and then when I get back here, my dogs sniff it, and then they pee over it. Wild. All right. Skyriders are doing their thing today, really doing their thing today. And apparently we're supposed to have either snow or rain coming for the weekend, or just after the weekend, Sunday, Monday, or something like that. So if we do, I'll be showing that in my videos. Thank you all for joining me. This is G Bear signing off.